Well, once we landed, we got off the plane, I kind of took a deep breath and I was like, wow, I'm really so far away from my parents and it's going to be like that for a while. I was trying to hold back a little bit of tears because I was a bit worried about the future and what was to come, but I knew it was going to be an experience of a lifetime.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Life Exchange Stories of Understanding. I am your host, Kelsey Ross, and today we've got great guests with us. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Kyle Tew. I am 16 years old. I am going into the senior year of high school. I'm currently on exchange in Germany, living in Stadthagen, which is near Hanover. I was born in Indiana, but now I live near Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, fellow Michigander. All right. That's awesome. How did you first get the idea of studying abroad?
Well, both my parents went abroad to studies in Glasgow for college, and I just thought to myself, it'd be a great experience, kind of follow in their footsteps to go abroad and study. And so I was thinking I learned a bit of German in school, had a bit of interest because of soccer, and so I did some research, found the CBYX program, and then landed on YFU.
And for those of us who may not know what the CBYX program is, could you give me a little rundown of what that's all about?
So CBYX is Congress and Bundestag, which is the German so-called equivalent of the Congress. It's a scholarship program where over 500 students exchange from U.S. to Germany and Germany back to the U.S. for a year.
I've heard it's a pretty prestigious program too. It can be pretty hard to get into. Am I correct?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of applicants and only a select few are picked. I'm one of the lucky ones, I would say.
Yeah, congratulations. That's incredible. So how long after you applied did you find out that you were a finalist?
I believe the wait was around 3 months. I was a bit busy when the actual email came in, so it was a bit more 3.5 for me. But the wait was quite a long one as they have a lot of people to interview.
Right, that makes sense. And take me to that moment when you found out that you were going to be going on exchange and you won. What were you doing and how were you feeling in that moment?
I was actually in school when I found out. I hadn't really told any of my friends. I was kind of sitting next to them and I just checking my email and then I saw it. I didn't really want to let them know because I think they would have been a little bit surprised and maybe a bit upset that I would leave them for a year. But yeah, I got home. I was running back home, got in the kitchen and was just yelling, I got in. Great moment for me.
That's amazing. And your parents did know that you had applied before you started, right?
Yeah, they knew, but they were really expecting for me to get in.
Happy surprise. And I ask because I've had a few people on the podcast who didn't tell their parents until they won. And they were like, oh, by the way, I'm going to Germany now. Peace out. And had to convince their parents that they could study abroad. So it's good that your parents were involved and knew from the get-go. And I'm assuming with their past study abroad experience that they were pretty supportive of your choice to do this as well.
Yes, of course. I mean, they were really open to the idea.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that they were so supportive of you and your dreams. Why go on exchange in high school? Why not wait until college?
I mean, first and foremost, it's good to do it as early as you can. I feel like a lot of things it's better to do it now than later. And you definitely don't know, in the future if you'll get this opportunity ever again. So I felt like it was a good timing. Also, in my high school, I'm a year ahead. So I'm a year younger than everyone else in my grade. So I felt that I could have taken a gap year, but my high school wouldn't let me. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Very fair. So after you found out that you were going to be studying abroad, you found out you're going to be going to Germany, how did you start preparing to take on this new adventure?
I had to start by working a little bit on the German language. I didn't take that much of classes beforehand, but I had to just accustom myself to the language first of all. I also did a little bit of research on the German culture and just getting accustomed to living here and what's it going to be like living away from my parents for almost a year.
Yeah.
And I didn't really do that much to prepare. I wanted to have full immersion when I came here.
So you had taken a little bit of a look into German culture. Did you have any sort of expectations about Germany and what it would be like before you got there?
I've read a lot about the soccer side of things. I'm a big soccer guy.
Yeah.
So I was expecting, everywhere you look, there's going to be soccer fields. But turns out it wasn't as I thought. Soccer is not the only sport they play here. They also play a sport called handball, which isn't really a big thing in the U.S.
No. What's handball?
It's kind of a mix of soccer and basketball and like ultimate frisbee. It's where you try to score goals on each side, but you can't really go into like
Mhm.
a set box.
Gotcha. Sounds cool.
It is.
Awesome. Yeah. Did you get the chance to play while you're on exchange?
Yeah, in our like PE hours, we got a chance to try handball, and I honestly think it was really, really fun.
Nice. Maybe a handball league can start when you get back home or something. That'd be fun. So, and then obviously you have to have a host family. So before you came to Germany, did you get the chance to get to know them a little bit?
Yeah, so we made a little WhatsApp group chat and we texted a bit over there, sending pictures. So both of our families actually went on vacation before I got to Germany. So, we sent pictures, shared a little bit of how it was, and yeah, we
Yeah.
just talked a little bit.
That's awesome. And how did it feel for you when you found out that you had a family who had chosen to host you?
I mean, it was definitely a big honor, and I feel
Yeah.
very lucky that I got to do this experience and to have a host family that could host me. And yeah, I've tried to just show that I'm thankful to them every day that I can.
It's fantastic. All right. So you found out you got your host family, you got your scholarship, you get on the plane, and then you hop off and you're in Germany. What was your first impression of what it was like when you got there?
Well, once we landed, we got off the plane, I kind of took a deep breath and I was like, wow, I'm really so far away from my parents and it's going to be like that for a while. I was trying to hold back a little bit of tears because I was a bit worried about the future and what was to come, but I knew it was going to be an experience of a lifetime.
Sounds full of hope and a little bit of anxiety, understandable.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly from talking to other CBYX participants, you had to do a month-long language camp. Am I correct?
Yes.
Nice. So what was that like for you?
For me, it was pretty good because I had already learned a little bit of the German language. Of course,
Fair.
I think I learned really quickly in this language camp because we went to an actual German school with German students. So I got to talk to the
Yeah.
locals. They actually had a soccer cage at the school. So whenever in the breaks, I would go play soccer and talk with the younger kids. I think I could learn faster when I talked with them.
Makes sense. It's good you got to keep up on your soccer skills. You're a big fan. You've been playing for a while. How long have you been playing soccer?
I've been playing since I was 5, 6 years old, so around 10, 11 years.
Nice. All right. You had finished your language camp and then you get to go meet your host family. What was your first impression of them?
When I saw them, I mean, I didn't really know what to think. I just got off of a train crying because I was scared of this next life and I didn't really know what to think. I just shook their hands, gave them a hug and was like, okay, I guess this is my new family now.
All right. And so then how did your host family help you to settle in and feel more comfortable and a little less scared?
So they definitely tried to talk with me about it, let me know that I'm not alone and if I need anything to come talk to them. I
Yeah.
think the first couple of days they kind of left me alone to just take a moment to realize. But then after that they were really supportive and like, hey, let's get to know the culture, get around town, check out the stuff that's here.
Great. And where about in Germany are you placed?
So it's kind of in the middle of Germany.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Hanover is like a big city in the middle, and I'm like
Okay.
30 minutes west.
Nice. All right. So with you being right in the middle, I'm assuming hopefully it's pretty easy for you to kind of go all over the place in Germany. Have you been able to explore more of the country?
Not as much as I would have hoped, but I did go to a lot of big cities that I wanted to, that were on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So of course,
Nice.
Hamburg and Berlin, we went there for the camps, but then I also got to go to Kiel, hang out with my friend.
Awesome. Which one was your favorite?
I have to say Berlin because of the sights, and at the end of the camp, I got to go watch a Berlin game.
Really? What was that like?
I had goosebumps the whole way.
Oh,
I was feeling a little bit, I don't know, down that week for some reason. But
yeah.
the second, I woke up that morning, I was like, damn, I'm going to this Berlin game. I was so happy. I could not hide my smile the whole way there.
Oh, that's amazing. Who are they playing?
They're playing against Hanover, which is like my local team.
Yeah.
But of course, you got to root for the home team. So.
I mean, yeah. That's so cool. When you were finally able to attend your school in Germany, what was your first impressions of your classmates and the people who were surrounding you and would be there for your whole school year?
Yeah. At first, I looked at these people and I felt like strangers, the first couple days. But then one of the kids was pretty good at English and he tried to talk to me, introduce me to everyone. So I kind of got a good feel of the classroom, who I'm with. And I think especially the boys were really open to talking with me in English. So I really got acclimated to the situation.
Gotcha. All right. Were your classmates like friendly? Were they able to make you feel at home after a while?
Yeah, I definitely got to know them pretty well. They got to know me pretty well. And I mean, we would talk over common interests like, football, Formula One. I'm also a little bit interested in.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I think it was good just, chit-chatting. And
Yeah.
yeah, it makes it feel like just a normal high school.
Perfect. And for future exchange students who may be going and experiencing a new country for the first time and trying to make friends, do you have any advice for them on how they can connect with people?
I mean, it's obviously good to learn the language because it's always easier to talk with people in the language. Of course, even if it's just broken and it's not as fluent as the native speakers, they'll try and understand you. They'll be nice to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just try to get out of your comfort zone because like there's no point waiting 1 month to make friends because
Yeah.
you can do it
Yeah.
as soon as you get there.
Right. Awesome. And how were you able to connect with your host family a little bit? Do you have any advice for exchange students trying to connect with theirs?
So we got a lot of family events. We would like eat breakfast, sometimes
Hmm.
dinner together. We went
Yeah.
out as a family to like a bowling alley once,
Hmm.
and it's just good to talk with them and just like understand they shouldn't see you as a stranger and you shouldn't see
Yeah.
them as a stranger.
Yeah.
Try to pretend like they're your family as much as you can, and soon enough, fake it till you make it.
Gotcha. Fair enough. I love that fake it till you make it. Have you had the chance to try any sort of new cultural traditions while you've been in Germany with your host family and your friends?
None of the big stereotypical because I wasn't
Okay.
in southern Germany, but
Gotcha.
I have gotten really accustomed to the idea of like Sunday being a quiet day and having like a 2 hour middle of the day pause to try and just chill, have a little bit of quiet time, take a quick nap, if you're tired, go
Yeah.
outside, get some fresh air. I really like that idea.
Nice. I've been hearing from a lot of students who go to Germany that they end up becoming really into hiking. Was that the same for you as well?
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of big hiking trails near me, so I didn't really get into the hiking idea.
Fair. That's all right. Were there any other, I mean, you said you had tried handball. You were able to practice soccer a bit more. Were there any other activities or sports that you were able to try your hand at while you're there?
Sport-wise, I really got into volleyball. So beforehand, I hadn't really played a lot of volleyball before.
Hmm.
But then I tried it at the language camp. We had a lot of free time to play volleyball. And then
Yeah.
here, there's a lot of people who just have volleyballs lying around, so they would bring them to school. Also, basketball I got to do
Nice.
just
Hmm.
in the breaks at school.
Yeah. So how would you say that your school in Germany is different from your school here in the United States?
So I would think the biggest difference is the schedule.
Yeah.
So in Germany, we have every day 6 hours rather than 7 or to 8. That's standard in the US. Also in
Yeah.
the US, it's the same classes that you have every day, maybe a bit of change day to day. But
Yeah.
in Germany, for the whole week, there's no one day or there's no 2 days that have the exact same schedule. You always have new
Really?
classes. And yeah, so at one semester, you'll take around 10 classes,
Yeah.
but they have different amounts that you take them each week.
Interesting. So your schedule's different every day. I would think I would be getting lost all the time. Did you ever get lost in the middle, like trying to like miss what class you're supposed to be in?
So there is apps on your phone and on the iPad that they give you to track your
Okay.
schedule, and also you
Gotcha.
stay in the same classroom for pretty much the whole day.
Okay.
And the teachers move around, so it's pretty easy to not get lost.
Makes sense. Yeah. As long as you're not wandering around and end up wandering into a different classroom. Yeah. You can't really get lost there. Makes sense. So how would you say that the way that you learn things from being in German school is going to be a little different when you come back to the United States?
For sure, I think that especially with the English class, I learned, or not so-called learned, but rather got familiarized with like specific grammar rules that I really wasn't paying attention to beforehand.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I feel like the German way that they teach is a little bit different. So like here, there's a lot more lecture and less just handing out a packet, make you do the packet, more
Yeah.
interactive stuff.
Gotcha. And would you say that German teaching is a bit more like hands-on, trying to like actually do the things that you're learning?
I mean, of course, it depends on the teacher, but I think for the most part, at least the school that I was in, it is very hands-on. They try to get you to interact with them, and frequently you have to do like a quick presentation and go up to the board, present. And I think that's a great way to teach kids.
Nice. Hopefully you're not somebody who's afraid of public speaking then, if that's the case. So, and obviously you'd have to give all your presentations in German. So during a presentation or during a time when you were like talking to somebody, did you have any kind of funny moments of like a mistranslation or a mispronunciation?
I can't really think of specific examples, but yeah, there are often times where you'll stumble over some words and then they'll
Yeah.
just look at you funny, like, what did you just say? But sometimes you just have to speak a bit slower and just calm down,
Yeah.
focus on what you're saying. And worst case
Yeah.
scenario, you can always use like Google Translate.
That's fair. At least there's always Google Translate in the back pocket. It sounds like with your experience emotionally, there's been some highs, there's been some lows. Were there any specific challenges that you had to face while you were on program that you overcame?
I think obviously there's the language barrier. I had to
Yeah.
study a lot of German,
Yeah.
and I definitely picked it up in the first 2 months. My German got a lot better than it was beforehand.
Yeah.
So that was one that I overcame. Also, I had like time management and stress was kind of a problem for me beforehand.
Yeah.
Especially coming to Germany with just everything that was going on, I had to just really, I guess, just lock in and focus, make a schedule, and just manage time how I is. And
Yeah. Makes sense. Do you find yourself dealing with stress differently now after being on program than you would have before you started?
for sure, beforehand, I didn't really have a lot of stress management like ideas.
Yeah.
But now talking to some people, they've really opened my eyes on mental health, dealing with stress and just how to overcome things that come in your way.
Sounds like a lot of growth in such a short amount of time. That's incredible. What would you say has been the most unexpected part of being on program and being in Germany on exchange?
For me, I wasn't expecting to make that many friends when I came to Germany.
Yeah.
However, maybe it's because I'm the exchange student. Everyone wanted to talk to me at the beginning, and I feel like I definitely made friends with a lot of people. And I think in a lot of different ways, my social circles got much bigger, and I think I've become more confident in myself to talk to strangers, talk to new people.
So perfect. So I obviously with being there for a whole year, you've got to experience all sorts of different like holidays and traditions like that. What's been your favorite holiday to celebrate while you've been in Germany?
I would say probably Christmas, or as we say in German, Weihnachten. There's obviously the Christmas markets. You can go outside,
Mhm.
look around, hang out with friends, eat food.
Yeah.
And then also you get to open your presents on the 24th, so a day early. So I was bragging to all my friends in the US, hey, I got to open my presents earlier than you did. And I think it's a really good time where the family really comes together.
Nice. And going back to your friends from the United States, I know in the beginning you had said you were a little hesitant to tell them that you were going to be going away for the school year. Have they been supportive of you since you've been gone, and how have they supported you?
Yeah, I mean, I texted some of them when I had a couple problems, and
Yeah.
they definitely give good advice, as always. But also, they've been really like making me homesick a little bit, which isn't the best. They've been saying like, "Hey, we miss you. Please come back as soon as you can." And I'm always like, "Hey, I'll be back as soon as I can." They always help me out when I'm dealing with problems,
Yeah.
or I can always text them if I want to chat or if I want to call them for a bit if I miss them. And yeah, they've just always been there for me.
Sounds like you've got a great group of friends in Germany and back home. That's amazing. Very lucky kid.
Yeah.
Um, uh, the homesickness part of it, I'm assuming it comes quite often, especially in like the beginning or around like those holiday times when you're usually with your family. How did you manage to overcome your homesickness?
Well, I could always, call home if I needed.
Yeah.
So if I was ever feeling like really alone, I would just try to call someone, whether it be my mom, my dad, or one of my
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Just try to not to think too much about it, and
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you can always think about home, be a bit homesick, but I think it would just be better to dive right in and expect the homesickness, but don't be afraid of it.
I like that. Don't expect it, but don't be afraid of it. That's, I think, good, really good life advice, not even just for dealing with homesickness, but life in general. Very wise. So, um, how would you say that your experience on program has helped you to grow as a person?
Well, I learned the German language, and I think I will continue to do that even when I go back to the US
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it expands a bunch of people that I can talk to.
Yeah.
Also, with self confidence, I am more confident speaking to others, more confident in doing things myself.
Yeah.
Um, and I've obviously got good with stress and time management, as I mentioned before.
Yep.
And oh yeah, I got taller too.
Oh, hey, that's great. Awesome. On average, German people tend to be quite tall. Is it something in the bread that they're eating? I've been hearing a lot about German bread. What is your take on German bread, actually?
German bread's amazing. We have these bread rolls, like
Yeah.
Brötchen, they're called, and they're
Yeah.
so freaking good.
Nice.
Like
Okay.
they're not.
Yeah, that's on the bucket list. Got to go to Germany and try these freaking bread. Everybody is going on about bread. I'm not kidding. Literally every single exchange student who is in Germany has raved about it. On the topic of food, were there any other German traditional foods that you got to try that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, I really got not necessarily into. I'm not a big potato fan, but
Okay.
I have found out that there is a way to put potato in every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I don't think I couldn't talk about food in Germany without talking about Döner, which is like meat, vegetables, and sauce in like a roll. It's kind of like a
Okay.
shawarma, but
Gotcha.
it's so good.
Sounds really good. Okay, I now I know what you're talking about. Okay, I've seen that in I've seen it in Denmark. I think there's a few places in Denmark where when I was there that was selling that. I didn't get the chance to try it though, unfortunately. Um, Not a fan of potato. Interesting. Why?
So the only fans of potatoes the only type of potatoes that I like is mashed potatoes, and I really don't like baked potatoes or just like them like peeled and then cut up. I
Fair.
I just don't like it.
Fair enough. All right. I'm sure you probably got asked a ton of questions about American stuff, American foods. Was there any question that somebody asked you about your life in the United States that kind of took you back and made you say, wait,
A lot of them ask a bunch of political questions, especially with
oh,
the
yeah.
state that our politics are in right now.
Yeah.
So they would ask me, are you pro Trump? Are you pro Kamala? Do
Yeah.
just do you support the crazy things that are going on?
Yeah.
And I kind of have to stop and just think about it. Like, these are interesting questions you're asking me.
Yeah, it's fair. And would you say that you had stereotypes in your mind about Germany that you had asked about and kind of had people look at you the same way? Like, what the heck are you asking me?
I definitely had expectations
Yeah.
of the stereotypes of German people. I tried not to say them too much because I didn't want to
Fair.
offend anyone.
Right.
But I was definitely surprised. But I think it's because of where I was located.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Since we're on the topic of like coming back to the United States and just the United States in general, how would you say that your attitude and perception about the United States has changed since being on exchange in Germany?
I mean, beforehand, I didn't really think too much about the USA as a whole and how
Mm-hmm.
the outlook from other countries on the US. But then
Yeah.
now coming to Germany,
Yeah.
and learning about the new government, learning about just the outlook of the US, I think I've
Yeah.
definitely become a little bit more critical of the government,
Yeah.
and I just critical of what's going on in America. And I think my outlook has definitely got a little bit. I think I scrutinize more about what's going on in the USA.
Makes sense. I get that. And how would you say your perspective of Germany has changed since living there for nearly a year?
I definitely got a reality check. I really thought that the Germans wouldn't be that friendly, but I honestly think the Germans might be more friendly than the Americans. Don't tell the Americans.
What?
Um, yeah, I really my perspective of Germany, the German people, and the German culture has really, I think, gotten a lot better as I've been here. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's just something that the experience has to show for it.
Gotcha. How would you say that this experience has helped you to grow academically?
Of course, learn the German language,
Yep.
and I think that I've learned a lot more about the international side of a lot of topics, so like
Yeah.
science and economics, and of course politics. And I think that it's grown me. So originally I was thinking about doing a business for college, and then now that I've learned the German language, got into the German culture, I think I'm found a big interest in the international business. So just thinking about international relations and some stuff like that.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we'll have to keep our eye on you and see what international business you start and grow and see where you go from here. For a student who may be considering going on exchange, what advice do you have for them?
I mean, it's better to just do it. If they're thinking about going to exchange, just do it. There's always a flight back home. There's always another host family that might be a better option for you. There's always ways to change it, but there's no chance when you're done with the high school and you can't do like YFU anymore, at least the exchange part, there's no point looking back and saying, oh, I wish I could have done that. It's better, to take risks, especially when it comes to doing an exchange year. The best experience that I've had.
Perfect. And we keep bringing up German language, so I'm curious, is there a phrase or a word in German that has become one of your favorite things to say or hear?
I mean, it's a really short word. It's NA, so na. And I say it before a lot of sentences I say. It's kind of just like, well, but it works like in a lot of situations. So it can be like, well, of course, what. It's just multi-purpose.
Gotcha. It's a multifaceted word. Like that.
Yeah.
With your program coming to an end, I'm sure you've got your eyes towards the future. It sounds like international business and continuing your upkeep of the German language is on the plan. What else can we expect from you in your future? Big question.
I think playing soccer with the Germans, I think I'm definitely going to continue doing soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it my whole life. And I feel like I've opened my eyes to a new side of just soccer culture and the art.
Does your child love soccer? Are you looking for a fun and educational way to help them improve their skills? Is your family looking to explore hosting or can't host for a whole year?
Well, you need to get involved with our partner, Challenger Sports.
Challenger Sports is North America's leading provider of soccer camps, programs, and services. Since 1985, Challenger Sports has positively impacted more than 1 million children globally.
Challenger Sports brings international soccer coaches to camps nationwide to share their skills and love for the sports with campers. And with their host family program, they also teach campers and their families about their culture.
If your family hosts a young adult international soccer coach for just 1 week, you can earn your child a free soccer day camp or a $100 rebate.
It's a perfect way to try hosting and to give your child a summer they will never forget.
So don't wait! Visit Challenger Sports' website to learn more and to become a coach's host family today.
Go to challengersports.com to get your journey kicked off. That's challengersports.com. And don't forget to tell them YFU USA sent you.
And of course, I also play cello, and listening to the Berlin Philharmonic, I think I will definitely be continuing cello in the future. And yeah, I love the sound of it. I think it's great.
Yeah. How long have you played?
I've been playing 6 years, 7 years, around that zone, and hopefully I can play it for the rest of my life. Hopefully.
Yeah. Of course, you hear people playing cello, but I've never actually met somebody who plays cello. That's so cool. Would you say that like orchestra music and playing instruments like that, is it important in German culture among German high school students, or about kind of how it is here in the United States?
I think, it's around here in the United States. You have to be interested in classical music to enjoy it. You can't, it's not like a big thing here.
Yeah. Gotcha. Were you able to play while you were there? Are you able to play in Germany at all?
Yeah, so luckily for me, the school that I went to had its own string orchestra. So I got to play in the orchestra for the whole year.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it'd be pretty expensive to bring your cello all the way to Germany, but it's...
Yeah, we actually rented from the school because we didn't want to bring it over.
Understandable. And then you had mentioned like the German soccer culture. What differences have you noticed about German soccer culture versus it here in the United States?
First of all, the United States is like, it's a lot of like capitalism based. Like for 1 year, even for just like recreational soccer in the city, it was like $300 for the whole season. Whereas here, I pay like €5 a month to play for the soccer team. But it is very like team centered. There's a lot of team activities, so going out for ice cream or whatever. Like the jerseys, each family takes turns washing them. And it's in like one collective bin. Like you don't get to buy and keep your own jersey, which I think I like the German style better because it's better for the players, better for the families.
Yeah. Gets the whole community involved, all the family involved. That's amazing. Is there a specific moment or a memory or story that you have from your time in Germany that we didn't get to touch on that you'd like to share?
I think that so when I came to Germany, I got to get introduced to my soccer team. I met the owner of the club, and I talked to him a bit, and I played my first game against a team called Algersdorf, which is a small town near my city. We lost really badly, like 4-1, but then we were kind of rallying together. And the next time we played them, we won 2-1 away again. And then my final game, which is tomorrow on Saturday, we'll play the same team, and fingers crossed we win. And I'll be really stoked because I felt like a really big connection with my soccer team, and it'll be great to, get one last win.
Absolutely. We all have our fingers crossed for you, fingers, toes, all that crossed for your team to bring home the victory. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
As a final sort of wrap-up question, what would you say has been like your biggest takeaway from going on exchange?
I think the biggest takeaway from going on the youth exchange is just to accept the risk taking and to step into the unknown, because you can't really go back and say that you wish you did this. And I think that I'm going to live my life by that going forward.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. And Kyle, I can't thank you enough for your time today and for talking to me and sharing your story. I really think that people are going to be inspired by you and what you've learned and what you've taken away from this. I know I'm inspired. If people want to keep up with you and see what you're up to after your exchange ends, are you on social media? Can people follow you anywhere?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, The Real, and then just Kyle Tew, my name.
You got it. All right. We'll make sure to put it in the show notes too, so people can follow along and keep up with your adventures. But that is the end of our episode today. Thank you again so much, Kyle, for talking with us.
Thank you much for having me.
My pleasure. This has been Life Exchange, Stories of Understanding. I've been your host, Kelsey Ross, and until next time, bye.
Listen to Life Exchange, Stories of Understanding now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.